Thanks so much, Michelle. And again, thanks to the Smart Nation Together team. Again, glad to be able to uh, have this webinar together with them. And as Michelle mentioned, really excited to share again about how you can grow your business digitally. I think today we wanted to share a few more details about maybe some about setting up your online store, and we do have some partners whose names you may be familiar with. We have Shopify and also one of the Shopify partners, Verse Design. And today, just to mention quickly a few things that they'll cover. Firstly, just a quick introduction on Shopify and their features. I think the speaker for today, whom I will introduce later, will also share his own journey about making a career switch to a tech company, his journey so far. And then again, the Shopify partner, Verse Design, will just share with you how you can start selling on Shopify within 7 days. It can be as simple as that. Setting up an online business, selling anywhere, anytime, selling anything can be done actually quite simply. And if you're interested in that, I think we're going to share with you a few tips and tricks to do that. It's going to be a bit more practical, I think, a little bit less about sharing maybe things that are trendy or visionary, but a bit more of if you really want to set up, this is how you can get started. And of course, including things like digital marketing, how do you increase traffic to your online store, all these things we'll cover. But before that, I'd just like to introduce our program director from the FinLab. If you don't know what the FinLab is about, we're here to share with you a little bit more. Next slide, please. So we'll have Sean Tan from the FinLab, who will just give a quick introduction. Sean, over to you.
Thanks, Will. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sean, Program Director at the FinLab. So once again, thank you for tuning in, and thank you to the Smart Nation team for partnering FinLab to run this webinar, and of course our key partners in Shopify and Verse Design for joining us as a speaker. So maybe I can introduce a bit about who FinLab is and what we do. Okay, so next slide. So FinLab, we are part of UOB, and in fact, we are UOB Innovation Accelerator. We have started in 2015, where we ran 2 rounds of FinTech Startup Acceleration Program. In 2018, we have seen the need to match the tech solution in the market to SMEs to help them digitalize their business to better their day-to-day efficiency. And we run programs in Singapore, Malaysia, and Thailand to help to match the tech solution to the SMEs across this market to better their business, to go digital. In 2020, due to COVID, we have pivoted online. We have put most of our programs, video on demand, the contents of such as the solutions that we showcase and articles onto our website. So you do feel free to visit the FinLab website to see what we do for the past few years and what are the upcoming events that we have. And last year, we have started our first sustainability innovation program, tapping on our expertise and area of network, the community that we have built up. We come together with a program to help SME to go sustainable. Okay, next slide. So what FinLab does is hover around these 3 key pillars, which is learn, match, and implement. So using the accelerator model, SME will be matched to the curated right solutions, and support will be given to implement the adoption of this solution. So you can see FinLab as a win-win platform for both the SMEs as well as the tech solution. So SMEs, they can come to the FinLab platform to be exposed to the good tech solution that are available, good and trusted. They can also learn from the industry experts as well as mentor and networking session through our programs and events. For the tech solution, they can see FinLab as a platform to scale to a wider audience, not only just in Singapore, but in the ASEAN footprints as well. So I mentioned earlier, UOB, we are strong in ASEAN, which is Singapore, Thailand, Malaysia, and also include Indonesia, Vietnam, and China. And the solutions that we have featured so far, not just this, is also include HR accounting, digital marketing, customer service, as well as payment and financing. Okay, so next slide. So since 2018, we have engaged more than 5,500 SMEs across the 3 countries. And we have actually done a report. We have helped Malaysian SMEs to raise their productivity by 30%. And we do have testimonial from Thai company where we have improved their online sales growth by 15% in a year. And throughout these 4 years that we have run such program, we have helped more than 1,200 SMEs to adopt digital solution. On the right, you can see some of the photos taken where we ran physical showcase day. And of course, this was pre-COVID. And now with the opening up, we are looking to host more physical event, bigger in Singapore. Next slide. So this is my last slide. I just want to share what we do in the sustainability front. So leveraging on our community outreach, we launched this sustainability innovation program last year, September, and more than 700 participants has joined our program. And we have matched more than 90, in fact, 92 SMEs to the solutions that we have showcased. So in our sustainability program, we hover around these 3 overview pillars. First is educate, where we want SME to learn about key trends and insights of why should they start looking into sustainability. Evaluate is the second one, where we have an assessment tool to see where are they in their green journey and what are the opportunities ahead. Last but not least, we execute, where we showcase a suite of solutions that we find that are relevant for SMEs to start to adopt in their businesses. So on the right are some of the key partners, which include some of the Institute of Higher Learnings, as well as some of tech solution that we have showcased in our program. Yep. So in general, FinLab, we help SME to go digital as well as to go green. And hence today, we are very pleased to partner with Smart Nation to feature Shopify and Burst Design. All right. So I hope you all have a good session and learn more about what Shopify and Burst Design can help. Thanks, Will. Pass back to you.
Thank you, Sean, for the introduction. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the presentations as well. And without further ado, we'll just move on. And I would like to introduce the speakers. Again, if you'd like to find out more about what the FinLab does, you can always visit our website and go to our FinLab online platform. Okay, next slide, please. Yeah. So first up, we have someone from Shopify. So we have John Lim, who is Senior Business Development Manager at Shopify. And, he has a lot of experience. He has experience in Lazada, where he was Regional Business Development Director. And he has been able to grow Shopify and accelerate the digital transformation of merchants in Southeast Asia. And we really love to hear his own story about how he made that career switch. And of course, he'll be sharing with you more about the features and what Shopify can do for your business as well. And after that, he'll hand the time straight to the next speaker. Next slide, please. Yeah, so Tan Yue Feng, he is from Burst Design. He's a strategic digital consultant, and he has, again, a lot of experience in website development, custom web application, and he's really passionate about planning, strategizing, executing digital marketing plans. And he really has been able to cover many e-commerce development strategies and projects. And he will be sharing with you more about how Burst Design, together with Shopify, can take your business to the next level. So without further ado, I'll just hand the time over to John. Morning, John. Hello.
Morning. Hi. Just make sure you can hear me well. I'm just going to share my screen.
Go ahead.
I will need, okay, got it.
Okay, just to note, as John gets the things ready, feel free to ask whatever questions you have. There's a Q&A function. Yeah, feel free to drop any questions there. We'll have a Q&A after the 2 speakers have presented, and we can take any questions. And as long as we have time, we'll take whatever questions you have for us. Okay?
Thanks, Will. Hope you can hear me well. You can see my slides, yeah? The green slide.
Yeah, I think you have to go. Have you clicked the presentation?
Hang on.
Because we see it's not to full screen.
Sorry.
No worries. Sorry for the technical. We'll get this up quickly.
Okay. Is this okay or no?
Still no. It looks like it's sharing.
Got it.
Would you would you like, yeah, so if you,
This is better? No?
no, it's still the same. Is it better if we share it? Because I've got the slides also.
Yeah, if you don't mind. Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Will.
Okay, wait, give me a second.
Yeah.
I have it. Does Darren happen to have the deck? Yeah. Now again, sorry. We did test this before. What's that? Okay. John, you can stop sharing first.
Got it.
Yeah, correct. Okay, here we go.
Great. Thank you. Time is on mine now. Yes, Will. There is a gray portion.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay. I don't know why, but suddenly my
Probably too many tabs.
is it okay now? Can you see?
It's waiting. Yes, now I see. There's a gray part at the bottom.
All right, let me just close this then.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, suddenly I lost the audio. Very strange. Okay, this never happened before. All right, go ahead, John. So sorry, everybody.
No, all good. Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. My name is John, John Lim. I'm very happy to be here representing Shopify and also to be invited by UOB FinLab and also Smart Nation Singapore to do a co-presentation together with Verse Design. So why Verse Design? Later on, I'll tell you a bit more. Next slide, please. So this, for my part, this will be the agenda on my side. So I'll give you a short introduction of myself. I'll give you some examples of Shopify merchants so that you know who these merchants that are using Shopify as a back end and some of the Shopify features. And last but not least, I'll do a bit more of a personal sharing of my career journey, switching over into the tech industry. Next slide, please. So yeah, so this is me. So I'm a senior business development manager for Southeast Asia. So I grow Shopify in Southeast Asia by working with organizations like this, government agencies, policymakers, trade groups, educational institutions, community organizations. So just for reference, last Friday, 2 Fridays back, Shopify had an in-person event with Singapore Center for Social Enterprise, or RACE in short, to introduce Shopify, and also invited social entrepreneurs who are using Shopify to share their experiences, because we believe that having our merchants to share their experiences, I think is a lot more relatable to the social entrepreneurs out there. So these are some of the engagements that I kind of lead at Shopify in Southeast Asia. Next slide, please. So for Shopify, our mission is very simple. Our mission is to make commerce better for everyone. And two things here, right? Why is it commerce and not e-commerce? Later on, I'll explain why. And why is it everyone and not just the big brands or enterprise or SMEs? An example I gave earlier where we spoke with the members of RACE is because we believe that everyone who wants to be engaged in the commerce ecosystem, we want to be there for them. We want to reduce the friction for entrepreneurship and business. Okay, next slide, please. So you may not know or heard of Shopify before coming to this webinar, but on the brand and the logos on the right hand side, I'm sure you would have some remembrance. So we power some of these big brands like your Gymshark, like a Timbuktu, like a WWF, Sephora. Next slide, please. So for some local contexts, who are some of local merchants? So limited edition, they sell limited edition shoes and sneakers. So they are using Shopify. Next slide, please. So this is an example of a social entrepreneur or social enterprise that we invited to the sharing with Race 2 weeks back. So they're called Ugly Food. So what they do is actually very interesting. What they do is, all your groceries that you buy on, let's say your supermarkets, on the markets, because the preferences in, I think, Asian or even Singaporean buyers, we only just pick the nicer looking ones. And we think that some fruits or vegetables that's got some blemishes, we think that they're not edible or we don't want to buy them. So that kind of gave the name Ugly Food. So what Ugly Food does is that this food that I mentioned earlier, the ugly food that I mentioned earlier, they get rejected by your supermarkets and your markets. They get sent back to the wholesalers, and Ugly Food sort of buy this surplus of ugly food and sell it to the consumer market, a B2C kind of model. They use Shopify to power their e-commerce shop. And I mean, I heard a story a few weeks back and I was just very inspired by how they're doing it. Next slide, please. This is Chop Value. This is a franchise business from Canada where they use recycled chopsticks to make into furniture. Okay, they were featured in Channel News Asia a few months ago. Next slide, please. This is By Artisan. So what they do is they do personalized, customized leather and paper gifts. You should also see their retail stores all over the island. There's one that I know of that's in Iron Orchard. Next slide, please. So I think everybody knows Secret Lab. They're one of the big companies from Singapore that's really done really well during the pandemic. So basically they sell office chairs, they sell gaming chairs. And because of the pandemic, I think everybody knows, almost everybody had to work from home, or at least those who could. I think that has seen a huge growth for Secret Lab. So they are also using Shopify. Next slide, please. So Crate and Barrel, they've got one nice physical retail store at Iron Orchard. And they're also using, so basically they sell furniture. Next slide, please. And this Orbits originated from New Zealand. Basically, they sell shoes, very comfortable shoes. I'm a big fan of Orbits. And they're one of 3 Shopify merchants that got IPO last year in 2021. So the reason of me showing all these examples is that Shopify powers merchants, big and small, all the way from startup all the way to IPO like Orbits. Okay, next slide, please. So this is a bit of a snapshot of Shopify. So maybe I'll draw your attention to the fact that we started in 2006. Now we have got millions of merchants in over 175 countries. This information was given end last year. Now we've got more than 14,000 employees now all over the world. And just fun fact for you is that Shopify globally has no physical office. All of us are working 100% from home. So we call it digital by design. I'm happy to share with you more later on with my slides at the end. Next slide, please. So these are some of our values. In fact, these are all our values at Shopify. Maybe I'll just draw your attention to this second one, be merchant obsessed. I'm sure people who are in Singapore or Southeast Asia are very familiar with Lazada and Shopee. I mean, I was from Lazada before joining Shopify. And I think what stood out or what stands out for me about Shopify is that we are tremendously merchant obsessed. So we're a B2B company. We help merchants who want to set up an online store, set up easier, quicker, cheaper with our ecosystem, which I'll explain later on as well. So this is one of the values that I kind of resonate with, being merchant obsessed. Next slide, please. So we have got 4 plans for Shopify, starting from the $29 per month, all the way to your Plus. We call it Shopify Plus. So that's about $2,000+ per month. And in between, we've got Shopify account, which is a Shopify plan, $79, and then advanced plan at $299. The earlier merchants I've shown you, they range from your Shopify account all the way to Plus. People like your Orbits, they're on a Plus plan. Okay, so I just want to give you a glimpse of how much it costs the merchants to power their e-commerce store on Shopify. Next, please. And maybe just for context, $29 in case you're Googling is about 40 Sing dollars per month. So for a fee of that, $40, I think that's probably about, I don't know, 5 Starbucks these days. You're able to power your e-commerce and be visible to the whole world for just 40 Sing dollars per month. So next, so for this slide, basically, if you use Shopify or merchants using Shopify, they're able to use just us and sell it on channels, all the sales channel possible. We've got a linkage to your sales channel like your Amazon, your Facebook, TikTok, and of course, we've got marketplaces in Singapore and Southeast Asia like your Lazada and Shopee as well. So you're able to set up a store on Shopify, and you're able to be visible on the different sales channels. And this is what we advocate, right? And another key feature for us for Shopify is that we also sell Shopify POS. POS stands for point of sales. So for example, you're a merchant, you start out selling something, let's say you start selling mugs, for example, and now there is a flea market, now that things are opening up, we are also able to subscribe to the Shopify POS and able to accept sales in person as well. Next slide, please. So the next few slides I'm going to go through with you includes the features of Shopify. I'm not going to be able to go through each of them in detail, but what I want to do is to go through with you, at least on the surface level, to introduce you what some of the key features. And later on, maybe Yue Feng from Verse Design is able to go through with you more in depth. So we've got a dashboard. So this dashboard, once you log into your Shopify account, you see this. And all this is customizable. You get to see quickly how many traffic you've got in the last 7 days, last 1 day, last 24 hours, how much you're making. On the left-hand side, for example, if you want to link up to your Google AdWords, you can all link that. If you want to link up to your sales channel on Facebook or Amazon, you can also see that as well. Next slide, please. So marketing. So it's important, right? For you to have a presence, being online to sell something. But it's another thing to actually get traffic, to get people to be seeing your website, to consider what you've got to sell to the rest of the world. So all this is integrated in the dashboard. You can see your Facebook ads, Facebook posts, all this is all integrated into your dashboard as well under marketing. Next slide, please. Promotion. So it's important. If you run your own business, if you run your own store online, you want to be able to give promotions, right? You want to be able to customize the kind of promotions you get. So I think we all know, but you all should know, this Sunday is Father's Day. So if you're a merchant targeting fathers or wanting to have a Father's Day promotion, you're able to do that via a promo code. And all this is easily doable on the Shopify dashboard. Next slide, please. Themes. A big part about e-commerce is about looking good, making sure that you are unique, you have got good template. So we call it themes. People call it templates, but we call it themes. And over here at Shopify, there are free themes available. And as far as I know, after talking to a lot of merchants that we've got, the free themes are mostly more than good enough for someone starting out. Okay, but of course, as your business scales, you want to get something a bit more customized. You want to get something more unique looking compared to your competitors. We actually have paid themes as well that you can purchase and put up. Next slide, please. One of the very successful feature that we have for merchants is this thing called Shopify Payments. Shopify Payments has a huge transaction rate. So a big problem e-commerce is abandoned carts. People will look at your website, they add something to the shopping cart, but they may not check out in the end. So Shopify has been proven that it increases conversion rate by up to 4 times faster checkout and 2 times higher conversion than your regular checkout. Next slide, please. And Shop Pay and Shop is a bit different. Shop is more for consumers like you and me. So Shop is an all-in-one mobile shopping assistant that helps the merchants deepen their presence and relationships with existing buyers. Say, for example, if I purchase something from a Shopify merchant, I key my credit card details. And when I next buy something on another Shopify merchant, I'm able to just quickly check out because I have already stored and saved my credit card details. Of course, you as a consumer, you have a choice to disable that as well. But my point is, it makes it easier for other Shopify merchants to get faster checkout. And it's easy and convenient for consumers like you and myself to check out quicker. Next slide, please. So a product philosophy that we have at Shopify is that we build about 80% of what merchants need. And for the 20%, we leave it to the third-party developers, app builders, and we have it on the App Store. So right now, I'm sure we got more than 8,000 apps available. So for example, an example is if you want to buy a theme, a customized theme, you're able to search it on the App Store. If right now you want to have a very specific way of doing email marketing, if Shopify plans doesn't have that, chances are you're going to get that, you're going to find that on the App Store. So this is similar as when you go to your Google Play Store or your Apple App Store to find apps that you want to better enhance the use of your smartphone. Next slide, please. And this is, we have a huge network of Shopify partners. So Verse Design, where UFM is representing today, they're an example of our ecosystem of Shopify partners. And there are different tiers of partners. So digital agency partners like Verse Design help merchants to build websites. So for example, some of you in this call today are looking to build something, or maybe you already got existing business, but you want to take it a step further. And you're really busy with operations, the financing of your business. The last thing you want to do is to hire a developer just to build a good looking website. So you don't have to worry. You can tap into our ecosystem. Players like your Verse Design are going to be your agency partners to help you build from scratch a website for you that is up to your liking. And beyond just digital agency partners, there are also other partners or experts that you can find on our network or our ecosystem. For example, you want someone who's very good at doing checkout, or advising you on inventory, or doing design, graphic design. You can find all of this in our ecosystem. And this, in my opinion, is one of the key features that separates Shopify from the rest of our competitors out there. Next slide, please. Now, if we're just going to start out, we have self-directed, self-learning materials. So it's shopify.com/learn. So inside there contains a wealth of information for those of you who want to build everything on your own. And it is possible, right? There's no coding is needed to build a Shopify store. And you have two options. Either you want to hire someone to do it for you, or you want to do it on your own. Fine, you do it on your own, and you have tons of materials out there for you to guide you on how to do it on your own. Next slide, please. So this is a bit more fun. Maybe I'll show you this an example of how we have product innovation to help merchants to convert better. So AR and 3D. So sometimes when we buy online, especially during the pandemic, during lockdown, we're not able to go out to physical store to see the sizing, the color, to see how the appliances would fit into our kitchen. So this 3D or AR part helps you to do that. To know what I mean, next slide, please. So as you can see here, you want to buy this Instant Pot, but you don't know whether it fits to your color of the tiles in your kitchen, the size of your kitchen. With this, you're able to better visualize the size and the shape, and all this without stepping out of the house. Okay, another example, please. Next slide, please. It's your bag. So maybe you want to know exactly how big it is, to know how to better for you to visualize whether it's the kind of bag that you need for, let's say, your gym or for school. So this is a feature, and this is really inbuilt. You don't have to pay extra to enable this AR feature. Next slide, please. So what I've done so far is I give you a short introduction of what I do at Shopify. I give you some examples of Shopify merchants in Singapore of different scale, and also an example of a merchant who went IPO last year, Orbits. Next, I've also gone through a few slides about the features of Shopify. Next, I'm going to share with you something a bit more intimate about my career journey, and maybe I'll give some basis for this. I think through the pandemic, there is this trend called the Great Resignation or the Great Reshuffle. People are quitting their jobs. They're realizing what's really important to them. And now that things are opening up, this topic about should we do a hybrid working model? Do you still really need us to go back to office to work? So all this, I feel, caused a lot of discussion, a lot of values alignment, whether the company that we work for has values that we personally align with. So I just thought I'll take this opportunity to share this topic that's close to my heart. I'll just share with you my career journey so far. Next slide, please. So a lot of words here, but allow me to guide you through this. I'll share with you my career journey. I started my career back in 2009 as a fresh grad from SMU who did who did economics. And then I joined banking. I joined OCBC, a local bank. I did sales there. And I was there for about 1 year and a half. And then I got this opportunity to start a laser tag events business, which later on began to manufacture gaming equipment with AR and VR components. So for this venture, for this part of my life, I spent about 6.5 years on this entrepreneurial stint. And it wasn't too much about tech, right? It was a bit of element of AR, VR, but my background was in economics or business. I am not an engineer. I'm not a tech guy. I don't know coding. And when I wanted to venture out to the jobs market out there, I mean, after 6.5 years running my own thing, it was a bit scary for me because I don't know what skills or whether my skills are relevant. And I knew that I wanted to join something tech related. And I think long story short, I ended up joining this company called Igloo Home, the bottom left logo there, Igloo Home. They're basically an IoT company, Internet of Things, tech startup. And they're based in Singapore. I think they're doing really well. When I joined them, it was in 2017. They design and manufacture smart locks. They're since rebranded and known as Igloo Company now. And I think one of the things that drew me to Igloo Home was this global partnership with Airbnb. The smart lock solved this painful problem of the Airbnb host needing to pass the keys to the guest. And when a guest checks out, the host needs to collect the keys back. So I thought it was fascinating because Airbnb is technically illegal in Singapore, but yet we have a Singaporean startup doing this. And just to share with you how I got this job was at this startup event. We're just having packet lunch, because it was a conference. They give us packet lunch, and I was just sitting 2 seats away from the CEO of Igloo Home. And we ended up chatting 1.5 hours about he's asking me ideas about whether I would buy a smart lock if it's paired with insurance and things like that. So we're just tossing out ideas. So yeah, and that somehow led me to be with them for 2 years. I started out as a Singapore general manager over there. And when I left 2 years later, I was the regional business development director for Southeast Asia. So, and then I fast forward to the next step of my career, which is joining e-commerce. I think I find myself very lucky to be in e-commerce just a few months before COVID-19 happened. I joined Lazada in 2019 November. So I wanted to find out more about e-commerce. I mean, it's a huge thing, right? And I wanted to find out how bigger organizations work. So COVID-19 came and changed the world in many, many ways. But e-commerce is one of the very few industries back then that has a lot of demand. And I really found myself lucky to be in e-commerce. And then my skills or my exposure in e-commerce become very valuable, become very much sought after by SMEs or companies out there to help companies figure out how to solve this e-commerce game. And this kind of brings me to Shopify. I've been a bit of a fanboy of Shopify even before I joined Lazada. That's because when I was at Igloo Home, doing the sales or business development, I had to deal with the Shopify platform, and it was quite seamless. It's quite a no-brainer for me. I mean, for me, I didn't do a lot. I just created the promo codes, so that's my best feature, right? Whenever I do sales and meet people, I'm able to give a small discount, and that could convert them to buying the Igloo Home lock via Shopify platform. So this is going to be my last part, I promise you. I joined Shopify in early this year, January 2022. And I'm just very outspoken beyond how easy it is to use Shopify. I'm also very drawn to the mission of empowering and championing entrepreneurship that Shopify is doing. Being an ex-entrepreneur, this really calls out to me. Maybe I'll just share with you a bit about the interview process. I'd saved Shopify as a job alert on LinkedIn. And then I saw the job posting in November last year, 2021. I submitted my application. The talent acquisition from Shopify, we call it TA in short, reached out within a week to schedule an online interview with my lead or my hiring manager. And it's a bit unique because usually the HR or TA will speak to you first as a first round, but my first round was my hiring manager. And if you see on the Shopify careers website, the interview format, we call it the live story interview. and where it's really more of a two-way conversation to cover your professional and also personal experiences, not just your professional experiences. So that's a bit unique. I kind of panicked a bit. I didn't know how to prepare, but I read the website, up, down, left, right, make sure that I know that this is what they are trying to do. And then I kind of prepared for that to tell them not just my professional experiences, but also my life experience as well. So yeah, and then first round was hiring manager. Second round was we had 2 interviews, one conducted separately with technical person, and also the second interview was with my hiring manager's manager. So all it took was about say 3 rounds, total 2 rounds of 3 interviews. It was rather quick, less than a month, and I was given an offer to join Shopify. And I think because I've done quite dramatic career switches from banking to doing fake guns, right, like laser tech. And then from there, I joined back to, I'm not joined back, but I joined a startup, and then I joined bigger companies. And e-commerce, I would say, largely considered under technology. Last year, I started I created my own podcast where I talk about career change. And I just been interviewing people that I know that also took certain drastic steps in their career. For example, one of them quit his $500,000 job in Hong Kong after 14 years in that company, and left that, came back to Singapore with his wife and daughter with no concrete plans. And then recently, a friend who was with Singapore Airlines, living a good life in LA, good weather, very senior position, but quit that to come back to Singapore to do social work. So I'm seeing all these trends, and I just wanted to capture that via a podcast and kind of like share with people that I think everyone should sort of like think about their own definition of success. And I think because of pandemic, the demand to go to tech sector have also gone up, because we saw how tech is such an important factor now in our lives. When it's all locked down, what do? We go Netflix, we use Food Panda and things like that. So I just wanted to sort of share my experiences with you today, and also via my podcast. Next slide, please. Last slide, I promise you, before your phone takes the stage. Earlier this year, I was invited to share about Shopify, and I also got a chance to share about my career journey, like what I shared with you earlier, and also my perspectives on early career. It's on my blog. Check it out if you like. Otherwise, you can scan a QR code on my display picture. You can see that as well. So I won't share that with you. Read it at your own time. And just to round up, I am been a fanboy of Shopify. I'm glad that I ended up in tech. I think it's a great place to be at, and I think e-commerce is going to be very relevant. And I think what makes Shopify very much differentiated and very much dominant in e-commerce scene is our huge ecosystem of partners like Verse Design. When I speak to merchants, all of them build their websites via partners like Verse Design, and I thought it's only fair and it's only right that we get a Shopify partner like Verse Design to also co-share this stage with me, with Shopify, and to speak to you more about what they do, how they help merchants. So with that, I hand over the time to Yue Feng, please.
Okay, all right. Thanks, John. Thanks, John, for the awesome presentation, and thank you so much, FinLab, for the having me and John here for the webinar. So before I carry on, maybe I can just share my screen so you guys can see what I'm looking at. Okay, are you guys able to see my screen? All right, okay, awesome. All right, so just to give you guys a quick introduction, okay, my name is Yue Feng, and I'm representing Verse Design today. I do see some familiar names in the audience list. So for those that are attending my webinar, once more, thank you so much for joining us again. And just to give you a quick introduction about Verse Design, okay, we are one of the leading digital transformational agency in Singapore with a strong regional exposure in the Southeast Asia region. Okay, so for us, we actually do web design, e-commerce development, copywriting, graphic design, and even mobile app development as well. And for those that are looking out to have more reach for your existing business, or let's say if you are trying to start a new business and you want to know how you can grow your sales, okay, you can look for us because we do digital marketing as well. Okay. So some fast fact about my company, okay, it's not mine, but Verse Design. We were founded in 2009. We currently have about 170 employees and about 70 of us are located in Singapore. For the digital marketing team, 70 of us are all located in Singapore. About 100 plus of us are spread across Philippines, Vietnam, and India. So those are our arms. Okay. So quick fact about me. For myself, I'm actually currently a strategic digital consultant, and my role in the company is actually to find the most suitable digital marketing and tech solutions for our clients across different industries. Okay, regardless if you are an established business, or let's say you're a startup, or let's say you just have a business idea and you're not sure which direction to go for, how should you be implementing that strategy, how you should be implementing your business, okay, you can reach out to me as well, because that's my role in the company. I will help to advise you on the most suitable digital marketing strategy or the tech solution to help you start off on the right foot. Okay, so before this, I was actually a Shopify and Meta business trainer at a private training institute. It's called Star Asia Alliance. So for them, they actually provide skills future course, and I do teach skills future courses for over about 3 years on these two topics. And personally, on the side, I also have scaled e-commerce store using Shopify from 0 to 60K in just 2 months, okay, using Shopify. Okay, so you can see that here are some of the lists of the well-known brands that Verse Design have worked with. But you notice that a lot of them are NMCs. But don't worry, we don't work just with NMCs. We work with SMEs like you guys as well. And of course, even for companies that are not even registered under ACRA, like just a brand new startup, we support them in terms of the tech, in terms of the digital marketing strategy as well. So the list that you see here is actually a mixture of web development using different CMSs such as Shopify, digital services such as SEO. For some, we even do branding and marketing for them as well. So right now, let's take a look at some of the clients that are on board for Shopify with Verse Design, and they have experienced very successful growth over the past years. So Crystal Tomato is one of them. They are quite a popular skincare brand in Singapore. And Fortix, I believe for those that scrolls TikTok a lot, Instagram a lot, you notice that they do quite aggressive influencer marketing recently, and the brand is starting to get out there, and a lot of them are, a lot of the people out there are actually getting specs from Fortix. And MoneyMax, they're also our clients, and they of course came on board with Shopify as well. And Novella, this is also one of more popular brands out there. And over here we have Epidex. And for this company specifically, I want to zoom in a bit more, because for them, they came on board with Shopify Plus, and they are able to take advantage of Shopify's seamless integration with many of the popular marketing channels out there, such as Google, Facebook, Instagram, to help boost sales. So to tie back to what John has mentioned, one USP about Shopify is that Shopify has beautiful seamless integration with many of these kind of different marketing channels. So that is why Shopify is really one of the most popular commerce solutions out there, as compared to many other different e-commerce solutions. Okay, and for Epidex specifically, they came on board, and of course our service complements extremely well with Shopify, and this has helped this particular merchant achieve a very holistic growth, regardless where their customers are in their buying journey. And of course, because of our close relationship with Shopify, right, this particular merchant actually gets the best of both worlds. Okay. So on one hand, they have an established digital marketing agency to achieve their marketing objective. On the other hand, Shopify is really one of the best commerce platform to use in the world that can actually meet the technical requirements needed for their e-commerce website. And of course, just to share with you, some of our clients, they actually come from countries such as Dubai, Solomon Island, and even Ghana. The moment they come on board, right, the first thing they'll ask our consultant is, hey, do you guys provide Shopify services? So that is actually how popular Shopify is. Okay, so here are some of the awards and certificates we have won. I'll just go through this quickly. We are ISO 9 certified. We are ISO 9001 company. We are also an official partner with many tech solution providers such as Magento, Shopify, Google, etc. And for those companies that are looking to tap on government's grant, you can look for us as well, because we are one of the few SME Go Digital pre-approved solution provider, as well as a EDG consultant as well. So if you do want to tap on the grant and you want to know how to do that, want to find out more details, okay, you can always reach out to me after the webinar. Okay. So for today's agenda, okay, I'll be having two points for you guys. Firstly, okay, I'll guide you through on how to use Shopify, and of course, along the way, I'll sprinkle some valuable tips so it can help to kickstart your business. And for those that are already established business, you may see certain reasons why you should transit to using Shopify. And of course, there'll be some insights on how to maintain your business using digital marketing strategy that complements very well with Shopify. Okay. Okay, so let's start off with the most important step of all businesses, okay, which is to get your website, is to get your business online so that people can find you. So for those that have a second screen with you, right, you can actually feel free to use this link and get your 14 days free trial. But of course, if you do not have a second device or screen with you right now, it'll be better if you can just watch my screen so you won't reach out on the demo. So you won't miss out on the demo. And of course, this video will be recorded and will be on Smart Nation Together's YouTube channel. So you don't have to worry about missing out on the technical details. After this webinar, you'll be recorded and you can always visit the YouTube channel to rewind and watch through once more. Okay. And just a quick disclaimer, right? There's no need to enter any credit card information. So after 14 days, if you decided, okay, maybe Shopify is not so suitable for me, or maybe I need more time to explore before I dive deep into Shopify, okay, the store will just lapse. There's no string attached. There's no obligations. The store will just lapse and close automatically. Okay, so for those that do have a second screen, okay, you can follow the steps below. Okay, you can click on the link provided and enter your email address. Give me a moment. Okay, you guys can see my laser pointer. Okay, you can click on the link that's provided and then enter your email address. And afterwards, you can click on start free trial. Okay, so afterwards, they'll say, start your free 14 days trial of Shopify. And then you just enter your email address, your password, and create your store. And afterwards, okay, you need to enter your email address, and then there's the password. And of course, there's this domain section, okay, where you can change it later on. So in this example, I have placed it as 360 fashion. So later on, if you decided to buy a domain, let's say 360fashion.com, okay, you can use that and use that link to redirect to this particular store. Okay, it's a bit technical, but I hope you can bear a bit with me. If you have any questions, you can always ask me after the webinar. Okay, and the next step, okay, they will have a survey. So this survey is just to share with Shopify a bit more about yourself so that later on, if there's a need to, Shopify consultant will be reaching out to you. Okay, so once you have reached this page, congratulations, you have successfully created a store. Okay, so right now I will give you guys a quick demo through the backend system, a bit similar to what John has did earlier, but I'll just go a bit more in depth. So for those that are first time seeing Shopify, you won't feel so foreign later on when you're playing around on your own. Okay, so what you're seeing on the screen right now, okay, is actually the home page of your dashboard. So at this juncture, right, you can think of this as the back end of your store. Imagine you do have a physical store, and then you can walk into the store, you can walk into the staff back room, for example. So you can think of this as the staff back room. So from here, you can manage your orders, you can manage your products, you can take a look at your customers list, and then find out what are they purchasing, how much they're purchasing, what is their average order value, for example. So all these are kind of different data that you want to collect to know what does well on your store, what isn't doing so well in your store, so that you can optimize your store for better sales later on. Okay, so on the left-hand side here, okay, you can see all the difference, all the orders will be here. Right now it's empty because this is a test store. You're not seeing any orders for now. But once you have orders coming in, okay, you can see rows and rows and rows of your orders and their individual price, the products that they are buying, what's the shipping method that they have requested to have in order to ship the product to their home. Okay, on the left-hand side here, I have a few example products that I've created. So you can see that it is actually very easy for you to list your product onto your own e-commerce store. So just to give you a quick example, Okay, by the way, all these pictures and all those I took from Taobao and all those, just to give a quick example here. It's not actual product that you can buy, but you can see that over here, you can add different pictures of different variants of your product. You can have the white top, okay, you can have the brown one, you have the green one, and you can have the blue one, and all these different color, different sizes, you can have them under this option section here. Okay, and of course the variant, and this is how you can change the pricing for that particular piece that you're selling. For example, maybe the small one, you want to price it at $20, and then the medium one, you want to price it at 25. The large one, you want to price it at 30. That can be done as well. Okay, so this is how easy it is to list your product on Shopify. Okay, on the left-hand side, you can see this is the customers list. So everything that's customer related, as written here, you can find it here. Okay. So on the left-hand side here, you can see there's analytics as well. So over here, you can see the overview of your store. How much sales are you making for today? What's the number of people that have actually visited on your website, and the returning customer rate? Okay, what's the percentage? So for customers that are for businesses, okay, they are trying to build a brand, this would play a huge role in ensuring the longevity of your customers' value over time. Okay, and of course, there's also the online store conversion rate, which means that out of the 100 customers that have visited your website, how many of them actually convert into a buying customer? Okay, so of course, these are the different metrics that you can look through. And of course, if you sign on for Shopify's bigger plans, there's more metrics for you to look through as well. Okay, so over here, we have the apps tab. So this is where you can install all the different apps in the world to help work together with Shopify. So as mentioned earlier, one USP of Shopify is that it is able to seamlessly integrate with many, many different platforms out there. For those that are doing email marketing, okay, you can integrate with Klaviyo, you can integrate with MailChimp. For those that, actually running advertisement on Facebook, okay, you have your product listed on your commerce manager on Facebook, okay, you can integrate that very seamlessly with Shopify as well. Okay, and of course, on the left-hand side here, okay, you can see two steps, online store and also point of sales. So just now in the questions box, I see that some of you are asking about POS. So yes, Shopify do integrate quite well with POS, but of course there are some technicalities that you need to take note of before you do the integration. So can get very complex. So if you want to know more about the details, you can always come and find me after the webinar. Okay. So for the online store, right, on the right-hand side here, okay, you can see that this is the theme that John was mentioning. Basically, theme is a way for you to design the front end of your store so that at the end of the day, it looks very, very beautiful. And of course, it's really made for the layman. So you don't have to worry about coding. You don't really have to worry about, what if you click on this, you shift that button, will that break my store? No, that will not happen as long as you are keeping within the boundaries, as long as you don't touch the coding. For the layman, okay, all you need to do is to click on customize, okay? And you can see that this is an example of a store, but of course right now this is a bit bare because I just created this overnight just to give you a look, just to let you have a feel of how a store can be. So very simply on the left-hand side here, you can see there are different sections to the homepage. And as I drag around, right, from top to bottom, you can see that I can shift that banner up and down. Okay, if I want to change the image here, okay, I can click in, okay, and you can see that I can make the changes here. Okay, I can upload my own photo or make use of Shopify's this free photo album that can be used for commercial users lah. So you don't have to worry that, what if I use this photo, what will the photographer come and find me afterwards? Would I get into trouble? No, you don't have to worry about that. The photos here are all available for commercial users. Okay, so this part I will not dive too deep in because at the end of the day, it requires you to put in a bit of time to play around, to see how the back end works. But you don't have to worry, like I say, you don't have to worry about breaking the store. That is the beauty of Shopify. Okay, so let me exit. Okay, so let's assume, okay, right now you have already done up your store is ready to go, you have your products, you contacted your supplier from China, you contacted someone from Alibaba to be able to provide you with the product and services that you want to sell. So in that case, what is next? How are you gonna bring more customers to your store? Okay, let me go back to my slides. Okay, so we just ran through the demo. Okay, so that now, right now, okay, you already have your store, you got your suppliers, you know, you have an awesome product. How are you gonna make sure that, you know, people can see your product? So let's take a quick example lah. Let's say if you're a pet store owner, you're selling accessories for pets. Maybe in the past, right, what you do is maybe you print out a lot of flyers, you go to the street, and then you give out the flyers, whether it's the, you know, someone that's old, someone that's young, someone that is just walking by, you're giving them flyers. Then you have to ask yourself, is this strategy effective or not? What if you give flyers to, you know, that lady that just walked past, but she doesn't even have a dog at home, she doesn't even have a pet at home? Then what's the point for giving her, right? You're wasting your time giving her the flyer. You're wasting the time printing out the flyer and giving it to people who is not even interested in your product at all. So this is where you have to consider changing up your strategy in terms of marketing. So next step, okay, is best to actually look into digital marketing. The beauty about digital marketing is that we can do very, very focused targeting on audiences that will be relevant to your business. For example, I do have a pet store, for example. Then let's say I want to target only specifically pet owners. I can do that using digital marketing strategy, so that every single cent that I spend out there actually reach out to customers that have potential into converting into my customer. Okay, so when is it time to actually explore digital marketing? So whatever you have been doing in the past isn't as effective anymore. Your warm audience has been exhausted. You know, your word of mouth has been slowing down, and you find that your competitors are doing digital marketing aggressively. So when this happens, when point number 4 happens, you know that digital marketing works for your industry. And that is the reason why your competitors are throwing so much money into digital marketing to make sure that they capture the bigger portion of the market pie. So, and of course, lastly, you got to trust your guts. The moment you feel that you are left behind, that is, you know, a telltale sign that it's really time to explore digital marketing. Okay. So how do you decide on your marketing strategy? There are many different components that you need to think of. You have to identify your business goals. You have to identify your marketing goals. You have to define your target audience. Who are the ones that will actually purchase your product? You have to define your market, research the market, and there are many, many different steps and strategy to pen out each of the items here. So in this case, right, it is always best to engage a marketing strategy to help you define your marketing strategy and advise you on how you should be doing it, so that you will not be wasting money on just running advertisement, and then at the end of the day, you know, you don't get any results. Then what is the point? Okay, so by doing in-depth research, will you be able to find out where you should begin your marketing agency? Okay, so just to give you an example, let's look at point number 3, define your target audience. Let's just assume that you're running a B2B business, and you're a business that provides machine parts to other business. In this case, right, does it make sense for you to actually run advertisement on Facebook and Instagram or not? Does it really make sense for you to, for you to run advertisements such that, you know, when someone is scrolling on Instagram or on Facebook, they see that machine parts, does it really intrigue them? So maybe in this sense, not so well. You may want to consider other platforms such as LinkedIn, or maybe even on Google for SEM. So chances are they could be on LinkedIn, but then again, that may not be the blanket strategy for all B2B business. Some B2B business actually works on all the different platforms, even on TikTok, on Facebook, on Instagram. So at the end of the day, it's always good to do your research first before you dive into the digital marketing strategy. Okay, so when we take a look at digital marketing strategy, right, okay, you notice that there's a huge component. And for those that are not familiar with digital marketing strategy, right, you can actually use this diagram to have a quick overview of what digital marketing consists of. And digital marketing can get quite complicated, as there's a lot of components, as you can see here. Okay, there's SEM, there's SEO, there's SMM, there's content, and you have to put out blogs. There's email marketing, there's video that you have to put on TikTok. You have to make sure that it is optimized for mobile, optimized for desktop. So that is something that will take you quite a bit of time to learn, and it can get very complex as you go down the rabbit hole. So for those that are thinking of doing digital marketing, on your own, right, do note that it is going to be an uphill battle. Okay, it's not that it's impossible, it is still possible, but it's just that it is very daunting lah. So it's always best to have a digital marketing strategy, a digital marketing agency to help you out with the planning process. Okay, so for today, right, because of how big digital marketing is, right, I'll just focus on 3 items, which is SEO, SEM, and SMM. So what are these 3 short forms? What do they represent? Okay, so when we look at, let's take a look at them one by one. So we talk about SEO first. What is SEO? SEO is actually the practice of increasing the quantity and the quality of traffic to your website through organic search result. So in essence, the idea is to appear on the first page of Google whenever someone types in certain keywords. So for example, if you run a tuition center, someone types in tuition center nears me, or some tuition center near me. Okay, you want your website to appear on the first page of Google. Okay, so just to share with you, why would you want that? Okay, there's a joke within the SEO community lah. We always say that, you know, if let's say you have to hide a dead body, okay, where do you hide that dead body? And the answer is to hide it on the second page of Google. So that is true. Most of the time, when people search for something, they don't go on to the second page of Google anymore. They will have their answer on the first page of Google. And that is very true. For 99% of the visitors, they will never scroll past the first page of Google. The moment you are not on the first page, okay, you are losing out on that 99% potential customers. Okay, so that is the essence of SEO. Let's take a look at what SEM is. SEM is actually known as pay per click lah, for some of for the layman's out there. Pay per click. SEM actually involves running paid advertisement that targets the keywords that your customers are searching for on search engines such as Google. So why would people choose to go with SEM? The reasons are very straightforward. Okay, it's fast to set up. You can see immediate result, and the results are very measurable. And of course, it's very scalable. If let's say you this month you're just targeting Singapore, and the next month you want to go to Southeast Asia, and then maybe the month after, okay, you want to target internationally, okay, you can do that very easily with just a few clicks of a mouse. Okay, so over here I do have an example for you. If you take a look on the screen, right, okay, I mean, you can go to Google and search down lah. If you type in running shoes, okay, you see that some results pop up, and on the top here you can see that there's a small writing that says ads, ADS. Okay, over here you can see ads as well. Over here you can see ads as well. And at the bottom here, you notice that for runnersworld.com, they do not have the word ads. The reason is because for Runners World, they are focusing a lot more on SEO. Okay, so the top that you see here are what we call SEM. This is the SEM portion. And at the bottom here, this is SEO. Okay, okay. Okay, for the next portion, okay, this is the last marketing strategy that we'll be covering. So what is SMM? SMM is actually the use of social media platform to make your brand more bright in the digital space lah. So some of the platforms actually include Facebook and Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, TikTok, and so much more. And why would some people choose to go with SMM? The reason is because it's really stable growth, and it helps to create a loyal community. This is one of the most important takeaway that you can have from today's lesson. So I'll share more with you. I'll give you one example later on. And of course, this is where you can also establish your social media presence. So why SMM? Let me just give you a quick example. Okay, on this screen, you'll see this very popular guy. His name is called Uncle Raymond. And for him, right, some of y'all who scrolls TikTok quite frequently, you see his dance throughout TikTok. And a lot of people are actually copying him. And for him, right, it was just a very simple dance. And for some reason, it catch on within the younger generations lah. Then they start to mimic him. They start to meet him at MRT station just to do this dance with him. And over just a short period of time, I think it was less than 2 months or so, okay, his follower actually shot up to 48,000 followers. So imagine you have this number of followers on your business right now. Definitely you will be able to sell a product. If let's say you still can't sell a product, then that means it's time to change the product lah. Okay, so of course, in this sense, okay, for those that are not familiar, right, maybe I can show you a quick short clip. It's actually a clip of him with Minister Mr. Ong, and they are running a campaign for the healthcare community to move more. Okay, let me see. How do I?
Hi guys, today we are with.
Can you guys hear the sound?
Some of our healthcare colleagues to do some morning exercise, and the person who is leading us is the famous Uncle Raymond.
Okay, so just something so simple, it can get him to 48,000 followers, and that is actually how powerful this SMM is. Okay, and of course you have to find something that sticks. Not every single video that you create will go viral like this. So you have to find your identity, you have to find a good one and then stick to it. Just keep I would say milking that strategy that you have put out, that video that you have put out. Okay, so the key takeaway for this for today's for this portion, okay, is actually to leverage on your following and create a community that actually loves the puns and the fun stuff of doing this dance within the public. And for your case, you need to find your a relatable message that people can relate to. So for him, is that dance, and for your business, it could be something else. Okay, that is something for you to brainstorm and find out what is that unique selling point for your business. Okay, and of course, at this point for Uncle Raymond, he have yet to start monetizing on this platform by doing any promotions for other companies, or he haven't even sell any products yet. He's really just trying to raise awareness for all the good practices that are out there. So for your case, if you are able to build a strong following like he did, right, the awareness in your brand and your business will definitely grow. Okay, so for today, okay, the goal is to make sure that you are able to put out relatable message. Okay, you want to create a community that people will follow and love, and then think of monetization later. Okay, so just to share a bit more about what my company has done in the past lah. So for clients that came on board for SEO, for my company, we don't do just SMM, we also do SEO service as well. And this is for our client. For Executive Counseling and Training Academy, they are featured on the first page. So if you go to Google right now, you type in Counseling Part-Time Courses Singapore, okay, you see that for this client, Executive Counseling and Training Academy, they appear on the first page of Google, and they are also appeared on the featured snippet as well. So usually for companies to get featured here, right, is not easy. Reason being, this is only achievable if Google has already identified you as the most relevant search result for the keyword versus the rest of your competitors. So that is when Google will actually push you up and show you in the featured snippet lah. So if you're able to claim your digital real estate here, okay, it's good because throughout the whole of first page, right, a big portion of it has already been covered by your business. Okay, and that helps to create a lot more visibility lah for your business. Okay, here are some of the other clients that we have worked with. If you do type in Speedopin, if you type in French restaurant near Fullerton, pet transport, okay, you can find our clients there as well. So of course, one tip to start out with SEO. The thing about SEO is that SEO can get very complex, and there are over 200 other factors that you have to consider before you can run a successful SEO campaign. So one tip to start you off with, right, is to actually make use of Shopify's edit website SEO functionality. Okay, the moment you go into SEO, the moment you have your product, okay, at the bottom, remember the product that I created earlier. And if you scroll all the way down, okay, you'll see this search engine listing preview. And then there is this edit website SEO button that you can click on. Sorry, let me just turn on my pointer. So if you click on this button here, okay, you can change the page title, you can change the meta description, okay, and if you want to, you can change the URL handle of your link as well. So doing all this will help with your SEO just a little bit lah. Of course, it's not very significant where after you do this, you can appear on first page of Google. May not happen, but this is something that is good to start you off with. Okay, so just a quick case study on the clients that we have worked with. For those that have a bit of real estate knowledge, you know that this kind of property is a bit hard to sell lah. So for this Delvis house, is actually a rare freehold residence under the KOP properties comprising of only 17 units. So because of various factors like this, right, the sinking fund is going to be extremely expensive, and this kind of houses will be suitable for a very niche kind of customers. So for that case, right, they reached out to us and they mentioned, hey, we want you guys to be able to find out those pool of clients for us. So what we did was we formulated a brand awareness campaign to reach out to the right customer audience, and we analyze the competitors and see what they are doing, and then we do it better. And of course, we created a lead generation campaign for retargeting as well. So at the end of the results, we enable an increase of 300 plus followers of page likes with over the span of only 4 months. But that is not the key. The key is actually the next page. With an average spend of only $700 plus a month, we are able to generate a total of 137 leads over the course of 68 days. So the average cost per lead was only $16.73. Okay, so just another example for you to look at. This is Stereo Electronics, also one of our clients. For them, they wanted their brand to gain higher website discoverability, fast search traffic, and quality leads, which doesn't happen overnight without the right expertise and strategy. So our solution for them was actually to do Google search, display, and shopping ads. And we help to analyze our competitor as well and see what they are doing, and then we do it better. Okay, and of course, we customize PPC campaigns to capture fast sales, and also we do a little bit of SEO keywords targeting. So this was the result after 12 months. Okay, we see that there's an increase in paid impression, and there was a 10x in terms of the return on ad spend. So return on ad spend is also shortly known as ROAS. So meaning is the amount of money that you earn from divided by okay, there's the formula is a bit more complex, but basically it's just to see how much returns you have from the advertisement that you spend. Think of it like ROI. And of course, lastly, for the paid traffic, we see an 85% increase as well. So when it comes to digital marketing, is there any secrets or not? The truth is that there is no secret in digital marketing. Okay, it's really all about having the right balance of marketing strategy and your mix. And you have to bring out your brand's unique selling point. And of course, don't forget to build a loyal community so that later on you can go back to them, you can upsell, you can create promotions, you can upsell. Okay, so and you must always make sure that your message aligns with your customers.